All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk shooting. Obviously, really bad thing that happened. Now, if you've watched the live streams I've done with KLF Tactical Response, you'll know that I wasn't a Charlie Kirk supporter, and that was because I saw him giving a lot of support for Israel. After I saw that, I stopped watching him. What I have learned since is that he was starting to question Israel and question these things. And then, according to Candace Owens, he has turned on a lot of money from Israel. And so I regret not following him anymore. That being said, too, I think it's important we don't bog down and look at politics too much because it's not really going to benefit you. And I have seen that with people close to me where they get too into it and they just become angry people because of it. All right. So you may need to, as they say, touch some grass. You may need to step off of social media from time to time because of that. Now, the main thing I want to address with this video is the reactions I am seeing. Okay, there's a lot of bravado being put out there. There are calls to violence, people basically asking for a civil war. And I want you guys to understand that a civil war will not help us. Violence against other poor people will not help you. And when I say poor people, hey, if you don't have $1 million in the bank, you're fucking poor right now. Okay, that's the way our economy has become. And it's not necessarily a left and right issue. It's not, necessarily Republican voters or Democrat voters. And it's funny because like lots of people will be like, you're a Republican. And I've been called a Democrat before, which is fucking wild. But all right, I'm an anarchist, not because I want crazy things to happen. It's because I literally believe that our government is so bad at this point that anarchy would be better. And that's really sad. I used to call myself a conservative, then I started calling myself a libertarian, and I just found that those groups failed so much and were so full of lies that I don't trust them, and I literally prefer anarchy at this point. And I don't want anarchy either. The funny thing with that too is if you actually look at what would probably happen with anarchy, it would just cycle back into a government, just a different form of it. So that's something else to keep in mind. Don't think I'm like a crazy guy asking for crazy things to happen. I am not. I do believe that there are people who need government, okay? I wish it was us who were fulfilling those needs instead of a government. This being said, with all the crazy things I'm seeing, with people basically being like, hey, that's never going to happen again. And like, I've seen a video of a dude like storming out of this house with no shirt on, holding his rifle. And like, you think I'm afraid to fight you? It's like, first off, dude, he set up his fucking camera outside the door to make that video, right? It's not like that was just captured in the moment. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening that I have seen on social media lately after Charlie Kirk's death, then I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Okay, the enemy is not the people who vote the way you don't like it. And think about it like this. How many people have you voted for that you're actually happy with their performance? How many people do we have in government right now that you thought were going to do a good job that do an absolutely shitty job? So what, you're mad at the other voters because they also voted for people who do shitty jobs? It's a big show, guys, all right? And we're being played against each other. Now, I do understand that there's a lot of shitty things being said about Charlie Kirk and his family. They are horrible things. And yeah, I had a discussion with Kayla and she's like, we need to call that bad behavior out. Yeah, I agree. But it should not be the focus. Where should we put our focus? Okay, first off, if you were doing the right thing before Charlie Kirk died, your behavior has not changed. My behavior hasn't changed. The things I was doing to be ready in case serious violence came has remained the same. Now, I get it. Not all of you get to have the same job as me, so you're not able to do that as much. So you have a different situation. But my behavior hasn't changed in the sense of preparation or the way I am conducting myself now. And so when I'm seeing like people now doing the whole like, hey, get your mags loaded, it's time to go. Like fucking, I got more loaded mags in this room right now than those people fucking own. Okay, so that preparation hadn't changed. I probably have more loaded mags and guns in this room than those people own. So that's one of those things where it's like I've been taking violence seriously from the beginning, from before Charlie Kirk died. So if you were just now starting to take violence seriously, you weren't doing the right thing in the first place. And that is something you need to recognize. Because a lot of the people that I do see instigating and trying to show this bravado, they're the least capable of violence, least capable of handling whatever emergency that may come to them. And those are the people instigating this. So we should not be those people. And that is not really the right way to act. And it's something else that, having recent experiences in my life that I've seen is the least capable men are the loudest. They're the ones who will shout and try to be the big dog when really they're not able to handle whatever situation they're going to start. And it's really sad. You can think about like, it's the same thing when you see like a little dog that barks really, really, really loud. And the second the big dog even looks at him, like, oh, fuck. That's what I see happening right now. And another thing I want you to think about too is like, yeah, there's the bad behavior on the left, but like that's always been there. And guess what? There's bad behavior on the right too. This is why I don't call myself a Republican. This is why I don't call myself a libertarian anymore, even though that's probably a lot closer to what I really am. I call myself an anarchist because I do not align with those groups. And if you think about like what groups should you be aligning with, where does that really start? Should it be starting with politics? Because right now, really, politics is kind of like fucking football teams. And I know the people that watch my channel aren't the ones who get in fist fights over football games. But there are certainly people like that. I think if you don't have faith, you really should get it. But at a minimum, you should have a group of valued people, like people with values that you align with. And it shouldn't be based off of how they vote. And don't hear me fucking being aligned with one side or the other when I say that, again, because I'm not. I am very much not so. With what group I am aligned with, it is the group that is following Jesus. I am not perfect at it. I am a baby Christian. I am learning. And it is a struggle. It is hard. But if we're going to look at what group should we be aligning with, that is the one. And so something I want you to think about too is like, we have all these problems that are going on with America in particular. I view the majority of them as demonic. Okay, when in class we have lots of discussions about this when we're charging mags or after class and stuff like that. I think that's a serious issue, and I think it's really sad that people can't see it that way. I think a lot of people have been driven away from faith by religion, as in this church had some bad people at it, or that guy was Christian, but he's a bad person. Okay, yeah. Guess what? That's fucking everywhere. Okay, so if you are actually studying Jesus, if you're actually studying the Bible and looking into that and not learning about it from people that don't believe in it, that just are angry at God, because honestly, that's another thing too. Most atheists, they're not really atheists. They're just mad at God. When you actually study Jesus, it's a very different picture than what you were probably taught by people around you and what your experiences have been with religion. So I think that's one big thing, is the demonic impact that has taken over on America. Another big thing is it's a government problem. It's not like, like I said in the live stream with Kayla, it's not the purple-haired lesbian at Starbucks that is causing your problems in this world. She didn't make your electric bill higher. She's not the one who voted to raise your taxes. She's not the one starting wars that they're going to send your grandchildren to, okay? So it's the actual people that are in charge. And beyond that, there are people funding them who are in charge. And it's not just government. You can look on YouTube right now or Instagram or whatever. You can find other influencers who are being funded. And they are being pushed to drive certain ideas to change our culture. Okay? So, all that being said, I really don't want to see violence in America. I do want to see a revolution. I would like it to be peaceful. That is all I want. I do not ever want to get in any sort of fight ever again. I don't want it. And you shouldn't want either. You shouldn't want it for your children. You shouldn't want it for your neighbors. Even your enemies, you really shouldn't want it for. Okay? Combat art training is all about being prepared for that, being capable of it. However, being capable of it doesn't mean that you're the one who goes and starts it. So if you're watching this channel and you are instigating violence right now, you're doing the wrong thing, according to me. But I also do think that if you were studying Jesus, you would find that you're doing the wrong thing according to him too. So all that's a big rant. Didn't really collect my thoughts that well before this video. Just kind of saying what I wanted to say. But keep in mind, too, I think this is all a big distraction. If you look at the things that happened the day Charlie Kirk died and the things that have been happening recently, they want us at each other's throats. They want us being violent against each other. The more divided we are, the easier we are to control.